Inside this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how you can get more of your prospects to show up to your consultations. And I'm not only gonna go over some things that are basically principle when it comes to increasing your show up rate, but also how I was able to get my show up rate from about 30 to 40% to 75 to 80, even 90%, depending on the week. And so, Coach, let's jump into it. We all know that feeling of setting aside 30 minutes to an hour to speak to a prospective client and then they don't show up, let alone not showing up, not texting us to let us know why or if they need to reschedule, or even worse, ghosting us and never showing back up to a consultation ever again. And so what I want to do is really go over some basic principle and tactical things to really make sure that we can get a higher show up rate so we have more opportunities to bring clients into our coaching program. And so the first thing is going to be your sell to actually get your client on a call in the first place. Now, whether this sell happens in a VSL, a web class, webinar, master class, on stage, or even on an Instagram live, when you're positioning a call to action for your prospect to book a consultation or maybe a strategy call, an audit, or however you decide to frame your consultations, you need to make sure that they are clear on what they're getting in that time. And this is what we call an offer. See, a lot of people think that the offer is your program itself, but any time that we actually ask our audience or our prospective clients to take action, we are making an offer, because in their mind, either consciously or subconsciously, they're thinking, well, if I give you my email or book a call, what do I get on the other side of that? So we need to make sure that depending on our ask, the value on the other side of that is always clear and a lot higher than the barrier of entry or the action that they need to take to get there. And so when you're pitching your consultation, be clear on exactly what you're going to do in that consultation, what are they going to get out of it, and be truthful and transparent so that way your prospect, number one, they just know what they're signing up for in the first place, which is going to help to eliminate their feelings of like, well, I don't even know when I'm going to jump on this call to talk about, or I feel like this person is just going to try to sell me something. We need to make that clear. So for example, let's just say that part of your consultation structure is really digging into what your client's current strategy is for weight loss, or for growing their business, or for getting more clients, or whatever the case may be. And then the other half is you kind of exploring, well, based on a problem that they have, if you can actually help them and making them a pitch, you need to be clear on that. And so you need to articulate the value as, hey, inside of this strategy call, the first thing that we're going to do is really take a solid in detail look at what's going on in your strategy and pinpoint some gaps on what's missing that you can immediately implement for you to start XYZ. And then from there, based on some of the problems that you're having, if there is an opportunity for us to help, what we'll do is we'll jump into the conversation on exactly what working with us would look like to implement the strategies and the solutions to fill some of those gaps in your business. So now let's jump into the second aspect of getting more clients to show up to your calls. And it's going to be a bit more tactical, and it's actually really simple, but it's doing call confirmations. Listen, when I was getting over 25 calls booked on my calendar a week, I remember at the peak of my fitness business, I was getting about anywhere from 20 to 30 consultations booked a week. And when I first started getting that volume of consultations booked, I had probably about a 30 to 40% show rate, which means I was giving literally 20 to 30 hours in my schedule a week. I was leaving that open for consultations and only 10, 12, maybe 15 people were showing up. And so what I started doing was either at the end of my business day or at the beginning of the next day, I would look at the consultations that I had between 24 and 48 hours ahead on my schedule, and I would actually call them and confirm their call. But check this out. It wouldn't just be an ordinary, hey, this is Elijah from the Grind Tribe. I just want to make sure that you're going to show up for our call on Wednesday. No, what I would actually do is I would use my relationship-based selling principles to actually allow the prospect to sell themselves on why they booked the call in the first place. And here's what that would look like. Hey, what's going on, John? This is Elijah from the Grind Tribe. I noticed that you booked a call for tomorrow evening at 2. I just seen your application. I just had a quick question for you if you got about a minute or so. Okay, cool. Yeah, man, I'm just curious, sort of what made you book a call in the first place? Now, when I ask that question, that is allowing the prospect to actually remind themselves of why they booked a call and why their problem is important to solve. And then from there, what I would simply do is I would move them to the next step, which is letting them know that this call is going to be better to be taken when I have your undivided attention. You might want to be able to take notes, and also letting them know that it's going to be on Zoom. So that way there's no miscommunications, they've sold themselves on why they booked the call, and lastly, they know exactly where that call is gonna be taking place and that they're gonna need to be in a position where I can give them their undivided attention. Now this brings me into the last part, which was imperative, and it is developing personalized assets to send to your prospects before they jump on a call. And I'm gonna give you guys an example. Typically on my application form for my fitness offer, I would ask sort of about their goals. I would have them check all on what they're looking to do. Are you looking to build muscle? Are you looking to lose fat? Are you looking to gain weight? Are you looking to, kind of really, I asked them like about 3 to 4 questions around an ideal body goal. I also would ask them what they felt was getting in the way of their goal. I would put time, I would put knowledge, I would put money, and I would put accountability and support. Now, obviously, if somebody put money as a reason that they're not getting where they need to be, that lets me know that that prospect may not be as financially qualified. And in that call confirmation, I'm gonna be able to have a little bit more context. So that way I can clarify that within 2 to 3 minutes of a call, as opposed to waiting to get that financial objection 45 minutes into a consultation the next day. Now, going back to the assets, typically what I would do now is, let's say if a prospect was looking to build muscle. Some guys are like, skinny fat, they want to build muscle. Some guys want to just lose weight, they need to lose 30 to 40 pounds. Some guys want to gain weight. So I had a couple of archetype of goals of what lean meant to my prospect. What they would do is, I also had testimonial videos and marketing assets that directly were within alignment of those goals. So what I would do is, on that confirmation call or after the call, I would text them and say, hey, I know that right now you're looking to lose a little bit of weight, but mostly gain a lot more muscle. My client X did the exact same thing. You may be able to gain some insight from watching his case study. And I would actually send them a case study that was direct to the specific body goal that they were looking for. So if it was a guy who wanted to specifically lose weight, I would send him one of my weight loss clients. If it was a guy who wanted to gain weight and build muscle, I would send him one of my gain weight and build muscle clients. If it was a guy who wanted to kind of do a body recomp, where it's sort of like resculpting his body where it's at and it's losing a little bit of weight and gaining some muscle, I would send him a case study that was specific to that. And so now what this would do is, this would not only hyper nurture my prospect with social proof to increase their perceived likelihood of achievement, but also give them that personalized feel in their journey of making a decision to work with me. Because for them, it's like, wow, Coach Tice is really taking his time to give me that personal touch and really let me know that he really understands my specific goals. But not only that, to be able to have those amount of testimonials, which again, coach, this may not be as specific. You may need to leverage like a video, or that's more educational if you don't have as many testimonials. But you want to have something that allows your prospect to feel like, wow, this coach is organized and they're really taking the time to understand my goals specific. Because now you're finishing up the nurturing process and increasing that perceived likelihood of achievement, where that client may come to that call really looking to sell you on why they need to work with you. So again, this was what literally took a calendar of 20 to 30 calls a week at about a 30 to maybe 50% show up rate, to being able to have a 65, 75, 80% show up rate on my calls. And so employ these things into your coaching business immediately, coach. And when you do start seeing more shows, I want you to come back to this video. I want you to drop a comment and let everybody know that it worked. So again, I appreciate you for tapping in. My name is Coach Tice. What we do here at Content to Sales is help you with your messaging, help you with your content, and help you with your sales process, so that way you can start bringing more aligned and qualified prospects and clients into your coaching business, so that way you can start growing sustainably and living the lifestyle that you wanted to live. So if that sounds like you can feel free to click the link in the notes and learn more about how we can help here at Content to Sales.